Fantasy Hockey Picks and Bets. I'm your host, DJ Mitchell. We're here in the USA hockey jersey. This was from the World Cup of Hockey. Yeah, right here. Olympic hockey is back. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I have been jamming so much Olympic hockey, like a degenerate level amount of women's hockey. I already have a degenerate level amount of men's hockey bets. I'm not going to go into great detail because there's not that much to say, but I will just mention it off the cuff here. I'm hammering overs and I'm hammering Canada, US, everything that I possibly can find in the women's. This is not priced correctly. These teams are miles ahead of everyone else in the world, and it's just printing money every time. So I've been taking alternate spreads on Canada winning by way more than they're predicting, and USA pretty much exclusively. Now they play each other probably tonight when you're listening to this, so a little bit tougher to do. USA lost their best player, which is tough, but that's what all I'm doing in the women's. Not too difficult. In the men's, I think there's going to be a lot of good money on the overs to hit because we are on NHL size rinks. The player skill level being a bit younger than last time, probably going to mean less defense, less goaltending, maybe greatness in behind the keepers. And just in general, I think that this tournament is going to set up for a lot of, guys that are trying to make it back at the NHL or make it in general. So a lot of kind of stuff on the line this time around. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say about the Olympics. Follow me on Twitter at DJ_Mitchell94. I just post my bets. If you want to tail them. If you don't. I have friends that are like, I cannot stomach taking USA -8 in anything. And I'm like, all right, don't do it then. And then USA wins 10-1 and I'm swimming in money. It's been awesome. So if you want to jam it with me, come over and jam it with me. But we're going to talk about the NHL game. We got 2 games. I think there's actually 2 really good bets here that I've already placed before we started because I'm like, this seems really, really good. So we have Carolina at Toronto. This game is screaming over 6 right now, -115. I have this game at much more likely expected goals numbers over the past 10 to be closer to 6.5, 7, which is normally lowballing. This game sets up incredibly high. Obviously, goaltending can happen. And we might end up holding the bag if Jack Campbell puts up a 40 save performance, but this game sets up with a ton of opportunity, a ton of expected goals. Mitch Marner actually projecting really, 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 really well here still. He's been an absolute lock in DFS as of late. I've been playing him. He saved me last time that I played DFS hockey. Totally missed the All-Star game, by the way, so I'm an idiot. But this game is clearly the DraftKings, if you're playing the actual contest, where all the salary can possibly go. But I think I'll have a lot here because this game really does set up to be the better, higher scoring event. I might just go full game stack and then throw in up kind of a punt play from the other game. So we'll get to that. But the over is what I like here. I'm just not touching the money lines. I mean, taking Carolina at plus money feels like always the right thing to do. But I have Toronto as a slight, maybe favorite here at home. So I just don't trust it enough. I'm not touching it. Doesn't seem like any fun. I think you could play around with the puck line if you wanted to, but take them, but right now they have Carolina +1.5 -200. Come on, that's just no fun. So I'm taking the over and moving on. The second game, the Devils at Ottawa. So a lot of notes here. Dougie Hamilton not traveling, will not be there. That's for Mike McLeod is back, but Jack Hughes is out. Obviously, Jack Hughes being out, the much bigger news. Zaitsev will return for Ottawa. Gambrell and Brown all return to the lineup. So yeah, a lot of guys going to be back for Ottawa. There was no Tkachuk at practice, but it looks like it's going to be Stützle, Gaudette, and Tkachuk, unless if there's another guy that's going to step in that just didn't practice for some reason. I think it's probably going to be the case. So I mean, it does kind of feel to me like there could be some real value on Ottawa. I did bet them at -120. No Jack Hughes, no Dougie Hamilton. This is not the best New Jersey team in the world anyways. No Blackwood, no Bernier. I don't trust either of these goalies. I'm taking Ottawa here. I know they're missing Norris and others, but as I met Norris and Batherson, but they just returned some guys to the ice. I think that this is a really good spot for them at home at -120. That just doesn't seem like quite enough. And I do think this line is going to move once all that news kind of circulates through the industry. I got him at 120. If you can get him at that, I take it right now. The other, no, there's really nothing else too crazy as far as that, but we actually do have some player props. So I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to go but both games quickly. All we have are goals, which is or points. All we have is points right now. That's the only thing that they posted, which is weird. But I do think this is a decent spot to grab an Ottawa player. primarily Tim Stützle, who is now minus 140. He was like even money to plus money before, but him with Brady Tkachuk, I think you could honestly just take both of them and feel really good about it. They're going to see a ton of ice time. They're going against a very banged up, not good New Jersey team already. On the New Jersey side, I don't know if there's anyone they have posted right now that I'm super into. Just because Hischier minus 150 is not quite enough for me to want to get in on it. I think the one guy that I maybe consider is as Damian Severson, just because of the usage, the power play one, minus 105 for a power play one guy that's been really good as of late. It feels like good value. I don't hate it by any stretch, but I'm not absolutely stone cold locking it in. He hasn't had a point in 3 games, and they haven't had Dougie in 3 games, but he's almost seen 30 minutes of ice time in competitive matchups. So that's pretty cool. You can be a guy that's on the ice half the time, power play one. I do think that's normally going to work. The only other piece of news that I missed is Jesperi Kotkaniemi entered COVID protocol. So he's not going to play. Not that that's a huge breaking news, but he is a guy that some people like to jam as a cheap option. He'll be out. Other than that, I don't think there's anything too crazy as far as injuries. I think I mentioned everything. Tara Vinen was day-to-day, but he didn't. I don't know if he'll be back or not, honestly. That's one to keep an eye on. I think that's the only other one. So Ottawa at home, money line. I'm not going to get crazy with the puck line. It's still Ottawa. They're still not good. But I think Ottawa at home and then the over 6. I think that's going to get up to 6.5. I actually took it at 7 as well, just preemptively at like +2. I think it was plus 200. I just took it now. And that's really it. DFS, Marner, Matthews. I think that's the easiest way to start it. Bunting is the third guy in that line, but not in the power play. He's been really good and he's not very expensive. So I think it's an easy fit in there. On Carolina, I think you have to stay away from Aho, unfortunately. And you just play Svechnikov, Nachos. Maybe if you can get Trocheck in there, or a power play guy like D'Angelo is a bit expensive. You could punt defense with them. I really do think that's an option here, and take a guy like Pesci and just hope that Toronto's shooting gets him the blocks bonus, which he's hit multiple times this year. He gets the blocks bonus and a point. He could stand out 2,900. I think that's probably the better guy as far as a punt is from this game. So with everything I just said, hopefully that'll get you going. Let's go USA. I know the other guys, I want to see the Canada jerseys, Jake and Cecil, but let's go USA Olympics. I'm excited. I don't care. I watched the NHLers were there, but they're not. I'm still going to be all in on USA, even though their jerseys are not as good as these ones, but they're okay. Take care. Enjoy your Monday.